Well, I'll warn you, Peter, that I might all of a sudden just click out and disappear, but you'll still be able to hear me. Issue with these cameras. Oh, that one just turned off. Actually, oh, no, it wasn't me. Okay, they're DSLRs, and they have to shut off every once in a while to preserve themselves, I guess. So it looks really good. I've got really good quality. It's going to make for great filming and everything. But if I just disappeared, I have to go up and I have to go press a button on the camera to get everything back on.
There goes
so just okay. Just kind of ignore it. I can reach my B cam. I can reach the cam for the game board, but I can't reach my, the main camera that's on the other side of a table. So I
can't wait to see all the setup. I'm in for it.
I've got a test. Totally... I've got a test board here. I was going to wait for Ray to show everything, but I might as well just, he's going to be late. He can catch up, I guess.
That's so right. Snooze, you lose.
Yeah. We're going to have ambient music. Can you guys hear that?
Yep.
Playing? All right. So if it's too loud, you need to let me know if it's too loud to my voice, because I'm using the same mic to pick it up, but this mic picks up here and the speaker's over there. So it should be okay balanced, but you guys can let me know if I need to turn it down. It's a little loud on my end. I'm going to turn it down anyway.
What?
Exactly. All right. So you guys should just be able to hear it.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Okay, cool.
I can hear it.
We'll adapt as needed.
Oh, I can hear it very well.
Also, so this is how we do the role playing, where we're talking back and forth and, doing my stupid voices and stuff like that and telling the story, and you guys role playing with each other. And then we'll roll initiative and do battle.
Oh, cool.
And I have...
We're not fighting that thing right away, are we?
No. That's just an example I've got up there.
Right? Boom.
Yeah, I just threw an example up there so you guys can see it. I've got these it's dungeon crafts. They've only been out for a year or two, but they're basically just 2D,
Did you say dungeon cramps?
Crafts.
Oh.
Dungeon crafts. And it's just a box of flat dungeon pieces. So
that's cool.
That's just an innards of a dungeon. I've got other ones set up for the game for you guys. But it came with critters and stuff too. So if I don't have a specific critter I need, I might use those for a campaign until I can get the minis. I just bought a whole bunch of minis.
So that massive dragon is probably just like maybe like a little kobold or something like that. We'll make do with what we got.
I've got kobolds. I've got kobolds. I've got drawers over here next to me. You can't see, filled with critters and stuff. I've got
the real weapons.
Yeah, why don't you show those off?
Okay. We'll start small with your classic dagger. Let's see.
Wow.
Huzzah!
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Tough.
We're gonna go up a little bit more than that.
I tried to explain to her that we fight with dice, but she's all about the blade. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm not gonna cramp your style.
Don't kill the feel, David. Don't kill the feel. It's real. It's real.
Oh, you've got some. Oh my goodness! Look at you go. Wow.
So I actually throw these. My house.
Yeah. Are you any good? Can you actually hit the target with those?
Once you realize that you have to flip the boards around in the other direction, it makes it much easier.
Flip the boards in the other direction. Okay. So you were hitting it, but you were bouncing it off because you were hitting the hard side.
Oh God, did they bounce back wicked bad? Like literally have to whoa. Now it's much easier. And then if that bores you, if axes are boring, then of course there is your standard sword.
Wow.
Ta-da!
Yeah, nice.
That's right.
Okay. What kind of game does Rebecca think we're playing here, David?
He said method acting.
She knows this is theater of the mind, right?
She's method acting. That's all. I'm okay with that. What do you remember all those goofball pictures that Ray had us take?
Yep.
So she wants to have her battle act. She wants to have her throwing axes with her.
Right.
Hey, helps her character.
Helps you
Speaking of Ray, where the heck is he?
Yeah. Ray's bad with time. He probably thinks we're starting at like 4:00 his time.
Which is what?
Actually, no, 5:00 his time. It's 4:00 his time right now.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty sure I sent the right times to him.
Oh, I'm sure you did. You did. like I say though.
Look at all the stuff that you got back there. What is all that?
Oh, this is just my man cave. All my stuff.
Your man
Posters
cave.
and
Man cave.
T-shirts and just all my knickknacks, all my little.
I can see Bob in your mirror.
Yeah, there's Bob right there. You can see him.
That's Bob.
He's hanging out.
All
I'm gonna
right.
give Ray a call.
All right.
Hold on.
It's funny. It comes under James's name for some reason.
Yeah, it's because it's probably linked up to his Google or his email. You should be able to change your name.
I'm like, I'm my kid's name. It's really weird.
Just seeing if I can.
It's kind of like I am my own grandpa kind of thing.
Yeah, if you click on your name, there down at the bottom, if your menu pops up, it should give you an option to rename it, and you can change the name.
Straight to voicemail.
Where do you see that?
But you've got to click on the.
What am I clicking on?
You got to click on your
Hey, dude,
name. in
we're
your
waiting
box.
for you. We're all waiting, ready to go. Go in as soon as you can. Okay, see you soon. Bye.
It doesn't let me click my name on the box.
Try right clicking.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
Ooh, rename. Let's do that. Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, I should do that too. Actually, the next time I have a work call, Ringo Razmataz is going to come up. So I have to watch this.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to change it now. It's just, this is just learning right now. So
Rename. There we go. Ringo.
Ringo.
It's a good name. It's a really good name.
Isn't that the chameleon that Johnny Depp plays?
It's Rango.
Rango. Yeah,
Rango
another
is
good
the
name.
chameleon,
Another
yeah.
good name.
Ringo.
But
Is
I know
the
that
Beatles.
David was a big Beatles fan. Or no, he was a George Harrison fan. I don't know if he was a fan of all the Beatles.
Oh yeah,
But,
I like Beatles.
I like the
Rota.
Beatles. I like the
Gotcha.
Beatles.
All right. So just
The Beatles, believe it or not, were my first drinking songs. Was the Beatles music.
There you go.
Yeah, I bet you there are a lot of people's first drinking songs.
yeah. That's what we're gonna say.
Well, I mean, we got to do things, so let's do thing. So like I was saying, I've got a dual camera setup, and as we progress, I might, because my little board here, I can do up to 4 cameras. So if I have like a particularly complex battle sequence or something where I need to have multiple views, I can do that. Well, actually, let's start off right away. Do you guys have any questions about the world or whatever? Because this is a homebrew world, and we're kind of, wedging it into the realm of D&D. So if you have any questions about the world in general, or if you guys have anything that you guys want to share about your characters with each other outside of the story, basically, so you guys would know this about your characters, but your characters wouldn't know this about each other until they actually meet in game.
No metagaming. So let me run down the world. So the entire planet is called Mercer, or
Mercer, yes.
And I think there's 2 continents. There's Trangor, and there's Relth.
Relth, yes.
Okay. And Quelth City is in Relth.
Queth City.
Queth. Sorry. Yeah. So, and can you let us know where the campaign will be starting?
It's going to be mainly taking place in Trangor.
Okay.
If you remember in the backstory that I sent you, you end up hopping on a ship,
right,
and sailing across the sea to Trangor, basically kind of getting away from everything.
Cool. And what's the where did we land in Trangor? What's the city's name?
And I sent you a copy of the map, but if you don't have it, this is one of the older ones here, but I don't know is it reversed for you guys? Do you see this reading it right way, or is it backwards to you?
Trans is on my.
Do you see that?
Right.
Does that say Trangor to you, or is it run?
Yeah, no.
It says Trangor.
Yeah,
it looks good. Okay,
Yep.
good. Because on me, I got it flipped on me, so I see.
You can read backwards.
Well, it's not. So I need to read it. It's because when I puppet, I have everything set up one way, so it's weird. But here, this is where you guys are going to be landing, which is the Mouth Harbor, which is the main commercial docks that goes back and forth from Relth to Trangor.
Yeah, cool. What was it called again?
Mouth Harbor.
Mouth Harbor.
Mouth Harbor, and it's a small city that built up around the harbor itself.
Okay, and that's where Ringo is currently busking.
Yeah.
It's currently what?
Busking.
He's busking. He busks and he does a little street hustling, but I don't want to reveal too much out of game.
So the two, your campaign, Peter, and Will, actually, your first session is actually going to be separate from Rebecca because Rebecca's starting in a different place, and you and what's his name now? So Ringo and
Rorin, is it?
Trorin, I think. Trorin? Is it Trorin? I don't know. I've got it written down somewhere. You guys end up starting basically in Mouth Harbor, even though
what is his name?
Trorin, the Apostle of Squash. He's a veggie cleric. It's funny.
You know,
no, he's a druid. He's a druid. He's a druid. He's a veggie druid.
Am I allowed to know what Kuroda is, her class?
She can share with you anything you want. Just in game, you have to pretend you know nothing.
Yes, of course. You know what? I'd rather know nothing. I don't want to know anything. Don't tell me. Tell me nothing. I don't want to know. I want to figure it out. I want to figure it all by myself. Right now, when Ray and I play, we there's two types of role playing. There's ROLL, where you just fight a lot of stuff and roll a lot of dice, and there's ROLE. Me and Ray do a lot of like fighting. We don't do a lot of role playing, so this is going to be a big treat for me. I'm looking forward to this.
I am the total opposite.
I had to drag the role play out of you guys so hard.
Yeah,
they were. I remember when I started with you guys back in what was it, February of 2021 or 2021, I think, or whatever, and you guys were just like, we're battle, and I'm just like trying to act out, and I'm just like pulling you guys into these conversations, and you're like, practically having seizures, not knowing what to do.
I'm still trying. I'm still working on Ray. He's really struggles with the role playing.
My son is the numbers kind of player. He's the dice roller, and so he's like, Mom, do you have this dice? Do you have this dice? Yeah. And I'm like, honey, I'm just gonna roll whatever they tell me to and just do my thing.
Just buy the set. You have all the dice. Once you buy a set, you got all the dice you need. No big deal.
She's already got what, 2 sets now?
Two sets.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
I purposely picked a character that would be crappy as a fighter, so I'd have to role play my way out of situations.
Yeah, it's so funny. You treated it like a rogue, played it like you're planning on playing it like a bard. It's going to be really cool, and I'm hoping you're going to multi-class.
I will. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely going to multi-class. I don't know. It's an idea. It's an idea for a character. I don't really know which way it's going to go. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to go bard or if I'm going to go rogue. We'll see. I'm just going to let it kind of happen organically, right?
Yeah. That's the idea. Rebecca, multi-classing is basically just taking more than one job.
It was what?
It's just basically taking more than one job.
Okay.
And you start out with one, and then when you get to a certain level, you start another job. So you get more skill set, but it also means you don't advance as quickly in either of the two classes that you take.
Okay. It's just going to take me a minute to understand the jargon. So you guys you're going to be speaking the foreign language to me. That's okay.
Yep. Yeah, totally I'll do my best to,
my character won't give a shit,
things.
But that's fine.
Yeah, answer questions or ask questions, and we don't want to mansplain. I'm not going to if I'm mansplaining, please let me know. But if you have any questions,
Kuroda will let you know.
Yeah, and if Kuroda doesn't, Rebecca will.
Yeah.
No. Rebecca is no fragile little flower.
Perfect. No. Oh, that's good.
No.
A little backstory to me. I was raised in my grandparents were both military and lived next door. I was a former firefighter, first responder.
Wow.
Student senate president for my college.
Okay. Firefighter.
And she can throw axes at you.
I was just gonna say.
Throw axes and swing swords. I dropped a sword on my foot the other day, a wooden one. It hurt so bad. so bad. I'm
I'm
like,
glad
oh,
it was one of the wooden ones.
I was practicing one of these for when we're live, and I'm like this. And I even flipped it, and I went to go catch it. And
Yeah, no.
boom.
Yeah, as a martial arts instructor, the first thing I tell anybody when they start working with weapons is don't try to do anything fancy because it's the fast way to get you killed.
Yeah,
Like,
or lose a toe,
David.
apparently.
I broke a blood vessel. That's good.
Yeah.
I should probably check on this fire.
David, do you want to do you have any house rules that you want?
Oh, this is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So now I got to go press the button. Yeah,
Okay.
that's next.
Okay, cool.
Well, while you press that button, I got to check the fire real quick. Single homeowner.
I think I'm gonna switch over to my other headphones next time. The earbuds, like they look cool, but they're a pain in the butt, and I just like the overhead headphones. So yeah, there are a few house rules, not many. Mostly because this is kind of experimental, not only from me as being a fledgling actual D&D storyteller, also taking a world that was created in a much simpler version of role playing and kind of squishing it into D&D and trying to make it work that way. There's going to be some flubbing, there's going to be some adaptation, there's going to be some like, oh, didn't see that happen type thing while we all kind of get our bearings. So that's probably the biggest thing is the fact that this is an experimental thing on multiple levels. So it's going to take some time. Second, there isn't much that I don't allow in my world. One of the few things is I avoid rape or any non-consensual type sexual situations.
Yeah, we don't do that either.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's kind of an anything goes. Part of the session 0 though is I want to open up the floor to anybody who either can message me privately or if they don't mind saying it in front of the group here, anything that they're not comfortable with, because this world, like any other world, is built on war, built on tragedy, built on slavery, death, destruction, bad stuff happens. If there's any triggers or traumatic things that you want to avoid story-wise, you can either let me know personally, privately, or you can say it in session. And this is the time to be like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm horribly afraid of Pomeranians. Please don't put any Pomeranians in the game. I will avoid.
I have any sensitivities.
I have two. One is, please do not make spiders crawl on my character. I will sweat.
Okay.
But only on your character, because I might make spiders crawl on other people.
That's fine, as long as I don't feel like they're gonna.
Ringo does a little pickpocketing, and he uses
that's fine, Ringo.
sensations as a distraction.
Ringo, that's fine. Just keep the damn spiders away, okay?
Okay. Gotcha. So spiders,
it's a real phobia, and as far as attacking goes, I prefer if my character does not get strangled.
Okay, so no strangling. Got it.
Okay.
I don't even think that most of the time. So
I know,
it's cool.
but when there's attacking.
But I will definitely make note of that in my notes right now.
That's all.
Okay. No strangling, no spiders. Gotcha.
Other than that, whatever.
Is that Ray?
Ray, he said he said that he worked late and he forgot that this was happening.
Oh, great.
Okay. Just making a note in my phone and I will transfer it to my computer later. Let's see, Ray. Oh no, ads on the.
That's finished.
You done with your coffee?
Oh yeah. I like coffee. I can drink it all day long.
I made myself a pot and I'm on my second cup.
No kidding.
Yeah. If somebody had to make me choose between coffee and beer, honestly, I don't know what I would do. That'd be a hard choice.
Wait, there's
Right.
coffee beer here. Do you guys have coffee beer? I'm serious.
We might have. I don't know.
It's a nitro
Don't
beer.
know.
It's a nitro beer that's turned into alcohol.
Yikes.
Yep. Welcome to the
Yeah.
land of the breweries.
What works for everybody in terms of
Oh,
when we
Ray's
do
still
this
working.
next?
Ray is still at work.
Oh.
Well, I will. Okay. Well, I'm going to be putting this up on the YouTube anyway, so for reference purposes. So I will just give him the link when it's done, and he'll have to. His
He'll have to
coworker is
catch up.
supposed to cover me now, so I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, so no spiders, no strangling. Peter, anything with you?
Oh, I'm searching. What? No,
No
I
coffee
think
beer.
I'm okay.
You're okay?
No,
Yeah,
no
thanks.
beer
Yeah,
shortages for
no
Ringo.
beer
No,
shortages.
no
Yeah, that's
flavored
easy enough.
beers. I don't like
No
flavored
flavored
beers. I don't like vanilla in beer. I
Yeah,
don't like,
there's
I
not
don't
going to be
like
much in the
other-
way of
no.
flavored anything, I think.
No.
This is
I don't
it's
like
still
flavored
a
beer.
fairly medieval influenced realm, so
So it would be mead, right?
you'll have mead, you'll have ale, but
Perfect.
no, there won't be any, little umbrellas or anything like that. No worries. Oh, I have a
perfect.
hang on a second.
Is anyone going to be offended if Ringo deals a little sweetgrass? That's the name of the local drug, right, David?
It's the Mary
He's
Jane.
talking to his kid.
Oh.
That's right. He's talking to his kid right now.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, children. I
Okay.
have lots of those.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing some post work and editing afterward. So what was just being said?
Oh, green leaf. Was it green leaf? Sweetgrass? What's
It
the
was
name of the
green
local?
leaf.
Marijuana?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Is
essentially their version of weed.
is anyone offended if Ringo maybe slings a little green leaf on the side to make a couple extra bucks?
If it
No.
were, it would be
No.
so hypocritical. So yeah, no,
It's legal.
I knew there wasn't going to be any issue with this crowd when I took your idea from your background and I ran with it and created an entire, there's I don't know if I sent you everything either, because there's a lot of it you don't know, but there are guilds devoted to different types of crime and things like that. And Greenleaf is one of those things where it's it's
Nice.
technically against the law, but even the cops are hey, kind of thing. So it's going to be a fun little thing, and it's going to be a flavor thing for you too. But it's so prevalent, especially around the farm communities or rural communities, because they just grow it themselves. You're going to have real trouble selling any of it over here. You can sell it.
Yeah.
You can
You're
sell it in Ralph
"Dude, it's in
because
the
it wasn't
backyard."
grown over there. It was harder to get over there.
Ah, maybe I can start an import-export business.
Here in Trangor, it's kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
And I pulled that from my own living experience, having lived on the eastern part of the state of Massachusetts, where it's much more urban, it's much more, and so the people who I didn't do it, but my ex-wife did, and it was really difficult to get a hold of weed anywhere.
Well,
When we moved over here, it was dum, 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 can I borrow a cup of weed? And they'd be sure, no problem. I just grew it. I just harvested and dried it out. It was insane. It's absolutely crazy.
now it's even more crazy. Now it's dude, it's what do you want? What do you want? I'm well, it's free. What do you mean free?
Yeah, I mean, we have stores now and
really
dispensaries and
weird.
billboards selling it.
Yes. Candy and chocolate
From the government.
From the government? What?
Oh yeah. The government has a website. You just go on the government website and you order your weed from there.
Really?
Oh, yeah, no, you can go to a store here, or knock on your neighbor's house and see if they've
Yeah,
dried out for
see
you.
if their plant is further along than yours.
Yeah. I'm the oddball in this area. I don't smoke weed. I am weird around here. So
It's all right, David. We need people that aren't high.
my job to wrangle you guys.
Somebody
So
has
yeah,
to
no,
be.
it's gonna be a fun flavor thing for you, especially when your character realizes that, or actually you've been there for a while, so you probably already know that it's kind of pointless trying to sell it. Like little kids start selling their parents stuff that they grow to try and make a little bit of a couple of copper pieces here and there so they can go and buy candy and stuff like that. It's that prevalent in Trangor.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah.
So it's like Sage.
Yeah. So you're gonna
Right.
make a lot. You'll make more money doing your pickpocketing thing and your con art stuff. You'll make a lot more money doing that. Let's see if Ray is sent anymore.
So I'm assuming, I'm gathering that both Ringo and Kuroda are very smart and like to convince people of things. That's what I'm picking up so far.
Ringo is definitely, I don't know how smart he is. He's a talker.
Okay.
He's definitely a talker.
Or persuasion.
He likes to talk people into things, right?
These two are not going to get along.
He's long on ambition. He's long on ambition, but he's short on talent. But he's definitely got a mouth on him.
It's going to make for a very, very interesting dynamic, especially with how hardline Kuroda seems to be in a lot of ways.
Hey, we're gonna have a little tension, huh?
I think
we're gonna
so.
have to learn to work together. All right. You're a very straight arrow. Ringo is not a straight arrow.
Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys end up doing as characters. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm just waiting to see if Ray says he'll be able to join or not. He said his coworker is. Oh, you're looking at it now. Said his coworker is supposed to cover him, so I guess we'll see if he shows up or not. But I pay for the big Zoom, so it doesn't matter. We can just sit here for hours if we want to.
Okay.
Why don't I'll show off some of the other music so we can, because I've got other musics as well. We've got this one. This is just the main theme. This was actually written by my 13-year-old son.
I really love it.
Yeah, he wrote this. He wrote this specifically for Dragon Eggs,
that's
my
awesome.
role-playing game. And I recorded it. I arranged and recorded it, but he wrote it. So we've got just kind of some just gentle, nothing really bad is happening, relaxing music. We've got some, kind of more sad. This is all original music. I recorded all of this myself, except for, like I said,
amazing.
I wrote the Dragon Eggs theme. We've got, this is for when it's creepy. I use all this stuff in my show too, so it works out having it already. We got, having some fun. It's like, I don't know if you need like riding on a bus music or something, but that's the kind of.
Can we have coconuts?
Here. And we got battle music too. I'm working on it. I'm gonna do another one too, just so we have a little bit of flavor for battle music, not just one song. But
cool, love it.
I did this a while ago. So just background music that we can have all the time. I just find it gives the story just that much more flavor if you've got something else going on.
Well, it gets you into the
and that's
the
it. Is I
want
to give you guys as much help being able to be in character and to live in this imaginary world as your characters as I can possibly give you, because the more I can give you guys to bounce off of and relate to and pull from, the better you guys are going to be as role players, the more fun you're going to have ultimately, and the more believable and into the game you'll get.
Cool. You know me, my house is set up for that.
Yeah. So we'll just okay.
Just waiting around for Ray.
Yeah, really. At this point, that's what it is. I mean, I showed off my really cool camera stuff, and whoop,
I'm gonna grab something else
there's
to
the
drink.
game board.
I really enjoy that game board.
Yeah, and like I said, there are going to be times where because the grid on the underneath it is just a little bit bigger than the standard grid. So there might be times where I don't have something, like if I don't have a battle map for something specific, I'll be like, I'll just grab, because dry erase, and I'll just draw something for it. But for the most part, I'm going to try to have it so there's always at least something there for you guys to see, not just, plain white boring. And I got all sorts of critters and stuff. So let me see about the world. Okay, so I'll give you guys some just general knowledge, kind of everybody knows about the world. I think I emailed this to you guys too, but I'll just reiterate it a little bit. The world itself, their creation myth, we'll say, is based around Gatalosh the Platinum, which was the first platinum dragon, who was actually a like a kind of a roving god who was just lonely in the universe and came upon the rock that it turned into Mercer, and decided to start creating this world because it was bored and lonely. It then started using its own emotions and feelings to create other dragons, which is how the other dragon, all the other chromatic dragon clans came about. And each one of those clans is the beginnings of a specific type. It's like those are in place of other patrons. Everybody's patron is, for magic users, are based in a specific color clan, and or school of knowledge as well. It's not just magic. They kind of based everything from these dragons. So whereas and lots of stuff happens, and then there is a big, huge civil war where some of the dragons that were created later on, that are just regular dragons, are not deities. Only the first ones that were created were deities and sub-deities. Sorry, my kid is getting something noisy in the kitchen, which is right.
I can't even hear it.
I can't
over
really
there.
hear it either.
It's driving me bonkers. But that's my mic. It's because my mic only picks up right here, so it's not picking her up. That's good to know. So about a little over 1,000 years before the time period we're playing in, there was basically what's referred to as the Great War, or the Dragon Civil War. And some of the clans tried to take over and say, hey, we're supposed to be the best. We're supposed to rule the world. We're going to rule the world. And they almost made it. But the center of that was in Relth, not in Trangor. And because it happened in Relth, after the antagonistic dragons were defeated there, most of them fled, some of them hid. But there's very little dragon presence or dragon kind presence over in Relth, where you're from, Peter. Trangor kept that strong dragon kind, dragon family, dragon clan culture with the quote unquote winners of the Dragon Civil War. And so they're still all seen as very high seats of power, respected. They are the leaders of most governments in the area. And at this point, they're also helping guide the more humanoid-based governments of Relth as well, because there has been the trade and commerce and an exchange of knowledge has happened as well. But so there's a lot more dragons and dragon kind and runt dragons, which are they're dragons that are regular dragons, but they don't get to be full grown. It's not like they can become an ancient dragon, but they'll never get bigger than, say, a young dragon. And sometimes
Did you say
even smaller.
Runt dragon?
Runt dragon, yes. Runt dragon. It's basically dragons that are, they're like, it's the dragon equivalent of dwarfism.
Right. Okay.
So they still can have magical powers. Some don't. But like there are dragons that are just kind of there like, you know, running shops and teaching schools and things like that too, that aren't, you know, they're not these big, huge, terrible battles. So you run across that. And there's also, there are still kobolds. There are still blanking. The humanoid dragons.
Oh, dragonkind.
Yeah,
Dragonborn.
Dragonborns, yes, Dragonborns. There are still Dragonborns and things like that. They're all they're not super different than what you're used to seeing in 5e now. Whereas, you know, they're a lot more, you know, verbal. They're a lot more interactive. They talk more now. They're still, so kobolds are not, they don't tend to slink around in the shadows and everything, and they can, but they're, you know, you're going to find kobolds that are intelligent and well-spoken, and you're going to find kobolds that are, you know, thugs and jerks, and just like any other species, there's the good and the bad. I don't,
Right. Cool.
you don't automatically assume, even the clans that were antagonistic during the Dragon Civil War and have maybe the darker influence on things, like in the last campaign I just finished for the kids, the big baddies were the Black Clan. Just pressing the button on B camera. And they their school of magics are based around like deception, and they're actually also known as the Poison Clan. Their magics are very based around poison and acid. But they're also the patrons of research and intelligence. They're also so it's not just, nothing is all good and nothing is all bad. There are good and bad parts to all of the clans. There are good and bad parts to all of the demigods. Which are the dragons that were created by God to wash out of his emotions, or their emotions. So nothing is black and white. Nothing is black and white. There's good and bad.
Perfect.
In the middle of everything.
Nuanced.
So you're not gonna, you can't just see a black dragon and think automatically, oh, bad, we're gonna die, because it might not.
But see, I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, so to me, it's not that hard for me to see your world, because I don't know any other world.
That's definitely going to be an advantage in a lot of ways for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just got a message from Ray. Looks like he's having a hard time getting coverage.
Oh. Well, we'll send him the link to the video when I.
I'm gonna grab another beverage. I'll be right back.
You beverage it up.
Beverage. Ah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, well. What would D&D be without some strife, right?
Yeah, well, he knew though.
Yeah.
We were doing this. He's known for weeks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I have to schedule a work thing.
Ah, well.
It must be a show. He must be doing a show, because his work is Monday to Friday. So I don't know if he's trying to get somebody else to do his show for him, or.
Yeah, who knows? I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
He'll catch up. It's not like he's, you know, a noob or anything. I'm not saying.
No. He's missing a bit of the history, but that's okay.
And all of this stuff
Is
that
what
I'm
it is.
telling you guys, I actually have typed out. It all exists. It's not just stuff I'm pulling from my head and trying to keep in there. I have it all. I've got files and files of stuff typed out. And
I thought it was interesting that the Trangor is mostly dominated by dragon and their kind, and humans are a minority. What about like the other races, elves and dwarves?
Well, I said humanoid. So there are all bloodlines are represented in Trangor, and but there is a much higher percentage of dragon kind there than there is in Relf. In Relf, you could go months without seeing someone of dragon kind or of any clan blood, whereas in Trangor, there, you know, they're just like, it's just there. They're just like everywhere. It's
Yeah.
they're just another
Cool.
people that is there. So it's and that's something that I think your character will probably have, issues with.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about the ratio of dragon kind to humanoids and what other bloodlines are there. But yeah, there are dwarves, there are elves, there are gnomes, there are orcs, there are, and the various permutations of all of them as well. There are gnolls, they're all if it exists in D&D, it exists here. There just might be a different twist on it or a different nuance.
Yeah, cool. So my character coming from Relth is not used to seeing so many dragons and dragonborn and all this stuff. It's going to be like pretty alien to him.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a culture, especially since you grew up in one of the largest cities in Relth. Queth City it's the capital city of the Queth Confederacy, and it is a major metropolitan city. It's huge, and it's also for I think it was almost 100 years was one of the only it had control of the seas around Relth before Relth and Trangor reconnected. So it's a big shipping town. It's big commerce. It's a democratic parliament, whereas the neighboring country is a monarchy. So, but that's all in Relth. That's all over in Relth. In Trangor, it's different. It's not. There are several local governments, but all of them kowtow to the main government, which is based on the Fang. I forget what I named it for real. Just the city on Fang Island, which is up here in this cove there. That is the capital city and the heart of the government of all of Trangor right there. And currently the sitting government is run by the Platinum Clan.
Wait, can you put that back up there so I can see it on the big screen, please?
And I can also, I think I sent you the maps already, but I can send them again. So that's Fang Island.
I've got it. I've got mine. The Brass Sands and Mouth Harbor and the
Rebecca,
Arterial.
you actually came in. This is where your story starts, is down here. And then the green dragon that you meet up with is right in here in the verdant scaled forest. And you're going to be traveling to meet up with the guys later on in the story, whereas the other two are starting over here. Well, actually, no. Troran actually starts here, not too far from you.
Yeah, let's just hope I move quick.
But his journey to Mouth Harbor starts before you leave the homestead here in the verdant scaled forest. Each area has, just like in most D&D places, there are kind of concentrations of bloodlines. So Mouth Harbor is primarily you'll find mostly humans there, and half humans, half elves, things like that. There also is there's a fairly healthy kobold population here, as well as goblin here. Ooh. And the kobolds and the goblins tend to live in the mountain range around in the base of it. They actually have homes up in that area, whereas the humans and the humanoids tend to hang out in Mouth Harbor. Fang Island is very, very dragon heavy for obvious reasons. Very, very dragon heavy. The verdant scaled forest also very dragon heavy. The deep wood is very elf heavy. The rainbow quarry is very dwarf heavy. Brass Sands isn't super populated. It's a desert, but there are areas of populace in the Brass Sands, and that's also fairly dragon kind heavy. Not so much dragons, but more dragonborn. Poison Lake and the Shale Plains. The Shale Plains is basically a rock desert. Like it's literally like what it says. It's shale. It's just flat rock with very little vegetation or anything, and not much lives there at all. And the things that do live there are not usually pleasant because it's a very nasty place to be. And Poison Lake, also same idea.
Can I ask a question? Is all this going to be written in?
There won't be a test later. No.
I'm like,
I've taken notes. I got about a quarter of that, but that's all right.
And
this is learning. We're learning.
Yeah, and you'll learn more about these places as you and if you visit them.
Right.
Just like anything else.
Well, I want to now. I want to visit them all.
Well, that's great. It takes time to travel.
That's all right.
But it's definitely going to happen.
David, I wanted to ask you, our starting equipment, like the currency, what kind of money is, like, what's the currency of the land? How much are we starting with?
It's platinum gold. Whoop, did it again. Hang on. See, it's about a half an hour or so. It does this to me every time. I got to get a different camera. Hang on.
Rebecca, are you getting all this?
I am. It's a lot. It's a lot all at once. I'm always a baptism by fire person.
Yes, like drinking from a fire hose.
And I definitely am a like kind of like a foreign language. The more you watch and listen, the more the faster you learn it. So
okay, so the currency, it's gold, silver, platinum, and copper.
Okay, how much do you know how much we're starting with?
Well, I was going to kind of make that in story. Like Kuroda's character, her caretaker is going to give her a certain amount of money before she leaves. She's also going to have some money that she has made on her own there. Your characters, I have a feeling your character's probably going to be pretty hard up at the beginning of everything. However, I don't think it's going to be too difficult for you to along the way. Also, in true D&D fashion, you guys are going to have chances to make money pretty quick.
Yeah.
And Troran is going to have nothing.
He's a druid.
He's a druid, and before that, he was a poor farmer.
He's going to have root vegetables.
He's just going to have the veggies that he has and he can grow, and he's not going to have much in the way of anything yet.
Nice. I'll get him involved in some of my hustles, and we'll split the proceeds.
That'll be interesting to see. Very interesting to see. I can't wait to see that happen.
You're not going to share with me?
Oh, well, they haven't met you yet.
I haven't met you yet, but I'm thinking up a little scam I like to call the hot mama.
Squash.
So we should probably go over the types of characters so you guys know what to expect. Like we were saying, Troran is a druid. Very plant magic, animal magic, some healings, some offensive. And Peter, I'll let you talk about your character, Ringo.
Yeah, Ringo is the worst bard in Trangor.
Let me write that down.
He wants to be a rock star, but he can't play. He can't sing. But he does have a wicked tone. So he makes a little extra money on the side, telling dirty jokes in seedy pubs. And then what he does is he kind of scans the crowd and he picks out his marks. And then he, maybe somebody that's had a little too much to drink, maybe somebody that's showing has ostentatious displays of wealth, things that he thinks that he can pick off them without them knowing. It's not like he doesn't like the rich. He just doesn't like people that are very obvious about how rich they are.
Right.
Exactly. Okay. It's too.
So it's like Robin Hood.
It's like you with your chocolate thing. It's too much.
It's chocolate.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of what he does. He kind of any street hustles he busks, and he busks terribly. But during his busking, like you say, he's checking the crowd out. He's looking for marks, and so he's long on ambition, short on talent. He's a nice enough guy. He's definitely an agent of chaos, but he's got a good heart. He's got a good heart. He's not out to do any evil, and he doesn't want to
All right.
hurt anybody.
All right.
He doesn't rob little old ladies, and he doesn't rob honest shopkeepers. But if he spies a shopkeeper the shopkeeper is ripping people off, or they're overcharging, he has no issue doing a little ring reward scam.
All right.
Okay.
And a bard is a entertainer or
You'll
performer
find out
that can
later.
also use magic, primarily
that's right.
fighting magics.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to be a bartender at a bowling alley, so I know sleazy sleazy pubs.
Right, there you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ringo is going to get a lot of use out of prestidigitation. Little minor illusions, making copper pieces look like gold, and the little spider on the neck. Oh, like, can I get that for you?
Okay.
And then while he's smacking the spider over here, he's picking your pocket down here.
Okay.
Right? Little distraction. Get him looking this way while I'm doing something.
Power
over
of
this way.
persuasion and illusion of
That's right.
Okay.
There you go. And if I get in a little bit of trouble, I can always cast Charm Person and talk my way out of it.
But yet he has a soft spot.
He's got a soft spot. Yeah, he thinks he wants to act tough, but realistically, I mean, he's actually from a middle class family in a middle class town, but that was too boring for him.
Okay.
I don't want to get too much into the backstory. We'll
So
get into that
is he
later.
more of a Puck from A Midsummer's Night Dream?
Is he what? Sorry?
Is it Puck more like Puck from Summer Night's Dream?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
You don't
know that reference.
Shakespeare.
No, I got that.
All right.
Now I have to YouTube.
Great.
But yeah.
Okay,
so
Corona, why don't you talk about yourself a little bit?
Perfect.
Without saying what I am.
You can again, this is all out of game. So if you want to
Okay.
you could give your entire backstory if you want to, or you could wait and just give little tidbits now that you think are interesting. The characters.
I
are all
think
gonna pretend
my
they don't know anything.
backstory is somewhat important, since my survival depends on finding those who are going to help me in the long run, since I am a Valkyrie that has a twin sister, and their parents were killed during the Great Battle. And they were raised by Warlock, who was neither.
Oh.
No, remember we had to change that because that would make you impossibly old.
Right. So we changed it to what did we change it to?
The Warlock basically
Is the
betrayed and killed your parents.
Killed my parents.
Ooh.
And you don't as of yet really know why.
And being that my twin sister dies, I pretty much take that on.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot.
With a
lot
fun
of emotional baggage.
With a fun little curse, and now I run.
Ooh. Okay, this is gonna be real interesting. Don't tell me too much. I don't want to know too much.
That's all you get.
It gets deep. It's pretty good.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And
cool.
I don't want to say too much about Tror, and that really should be, but Ray can't make it. He's gonna check the video out later, probably FaceTime.
Okay.
But he is, like I said, he's a druid. He goes by Tror, an Apostle of the Squash. He used to be a farmer, and he basically was really, really good at what he did. So much so that the Green Dragon patron discovered him and basically gave him the power to be a druid and keep growing stuff. And now he does stuff. That involves growing things. Like I said, I don't want to say too much.
No, he does things and stuff.
But that's like what you could get if you just went and looked on his D&D Beyond profile. We will be using D&D Beyond. However, it's all going to be live roll. Real dice, please.
Yeah.
And yeah, and basically I'll be posting the videos after a little bit of post editing. Not much. Just like, when the camera pops off, I'll cut that out if I can, or if we're playing and
bathroom breaks and
if a child comes in bleeding from their face, I'm not going to leave that in there. But
although that is relatable.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, we're own parents here. but it'll go up unlisted on the YouTube, and that just basically means it can't be searched on my profile because, and I'm going to keep it that way specifically because my profile is basically, it's mostly family entertainment and kids entertainment. So having
You got a brand
D&D
to
where,
protect.
there's going to be, swearing and drugs and drinking and sex and slavery and dragons and death and things blowing up and people cursing. So I don't want to have that just like, oh, look, it's fun time with this Mr. Dave. What's this? Oh, he does D&D. And traumatized.
You're gonna get yourself canceled. You're gonna get yourself canceled, man. You
Yeah,
gotta watch
canceled
that.
on
You gotta
YouTube,
watch
no
that
less.
cancel culture.
It happened to Pee Wee Herman, man.
But it will be.
He was the first one. Pee Wee was the first one that got canceled. That's true. It's true.
But it will be able to be shared by you guys. So if you really are impressed by how you guys did it and you're like, oh, you want to show your friends, you'll be able to give them the link and they'll be able to see it. But it just can't be found by going to my profile. That's all.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm not
I think
keeping it private, which means nobody, unless I actually, unless I put their like YouTube profile in thing as they can view it, that's private. I'm not doing that. I'm just keeping it unlisted. So you can't search it, but you can share it all you want and you can pass it around to your friends and show everybody how geeky we are.
I think it's smart because you're our kids entertainer. That's how you make your living, right? And as a player, I want to be able to not have to edit myself. I know no spiders and no strangulation and no rape.
Yeah,
I'm cool with all of that. Right. I wasn't gonna go anywhere there anyways.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but
it
I
was
just
right
wanted
there
to put
in
it
my
out there
brain.
just in case.
Good to know what the ground rules are, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, this thing's falling apart.
And I probably will be, doing the whole AV thing and making like logos and stuff like that. And
That's cool.
prettying it up and making it presentable and stuff like that, because you never know. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun for us to be able to go back and look at and review and fast forward and rewind, like, oh, what did we say, what happened there, if your notes aren't.
We don't have to take notes. We don't have to take notes.
I recommend taking notes anyway, but you'll be able to go back and review.
Yeah, I already got notes.
Yeah.
I had a scribe in college.
Yeah, I told you, Peter. He's the.
You paid somebody to take notes for you. Nice.
No, the college paid them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What kind of college did you to go to? That's amazing.
I went to community college with a poor family. That's how.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
In the state of in Massachusetts, being in the United States, because I forget you guys aren't in the United States, a commonwealth is very different, and there aren't many of those states that are commonwealths. Massachusetts is one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So being a commonwealth, they help you all the time.
The state of the Commonwealth of
That's very Canadian of you. It's very British, actually.
Yeah.
To be honest.
You
guys did get a few good things from the British.
A little bit.
I gotta say, if you have to be colonized by any country, the British they took pretty good care of their colonies.
Yeah.
The Brits.
Hey, those are all the first world nations. If you're a former Spanish colony, that's not so good. And God help you if you're a former French colony.
Sorry. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any more questions or anything you want to ask about.
Let's what works for everybody in terms of when, because I want to start. I don't want it to be like another 2 months before we do this. I want to do this like next week.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Ready to roll. Sundays are usually pretty good for me.
How late are we going on Sundays? Because I have to be to work for 6:30.
That's the thing, is because Pacific and Mountain Time, and we don't even know if Ray's going to show up. Sorry, Ray, I love you, but let me see. So Saturdays can be okay for me. However, there are times when I have gigs, but we're not going to be doing it every week. It'd probably be. I'm hoping if we can make it once a month, that would be great. If we could get more than once a month, that'd be even better too. However, I don't know how well.
I don't sleep much as it is. So
sleeping. You don't need sleeping when you got D&D.
I'm just wondering, like if it's on a Sunday, what's the earliest that we start? That's all.
Well, if we go on Sundays, I'm gonna need to wrap up by like midnight my time soonest. But starting, like, if we start at a similar time, like obviously we might want to start a little bit later just to make sure we get everybody involved.
Like
But
7?
like, yeah, if we start at 7 p.m. our time, which
And
is
if we start at 7 and end by like
6 Ray and 5 you, no, 4 you.
For
You're
me.
3.
For me.
Yeah. So yeah. So it'd be around 4 p.m. your time.
are we allotting
You said
like,
after 2:30 you were good, right?
Yeah.
Peter?
I can go earlier. I can go later. I mean, I work banker's hours. I work Monday to Friday.
Okay.
My kids are teenagers. They don't want nothing to do with me anyways.
yeah.
I don't have any side gigs that I do on the weekends. So I got a lot of flexibility from basically 4:30 my time on Friday afternoon till about 10 o'clock my time Sunday night.
Okay,
I can make it
like
work.
That's like 1:30 my time. So yeah, that's fine. So if we say just Sunday a month, Rebecca, is midnight okay for an ending time for you?
You're forgetting I'm starting factory work.
Right.
Like I'm up at 4 o'clock.
Okay, so we might need to roll things a little bit earlier, or just keep the session shorter, at least until we find a good spot for it.
Right, if we kept the sessions shorter, we could do more.
Yeah, it's either that or we can try. Well, Saturdays. How do Saturdays work for Ray? I know we said Sundays were usually okay. Do we know anything about his Saturdays?
I think his weekends, like I thought that Ray had a new job and that he was working Monday to Friday. I know that he has his kids on some weekends, but usually we usually go Friday nights, and I know that's pretty late for you guys.
I can't do Friday nights anymore anyway.
Yeah.
I can do like Sundays
Saturday
our
works for
time
me.
till 11.
Okay, so our time to 11, so that's what 8 your time, Pete.
3 hours on a Sunday.
Yeah, so it would be 8 your time. If we could start at 11. I mean, if we got 2 hours minimum for playtime, I think that's just minimum.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. By the time everyone gets organized and everyone gets logged on and everyone gets their head in the game, because we'll become friends, right? So I'll want to check in. How are you guys doing?
Right.
You need like 15 minutes of chit chat.
Yeah.
How's your new job going, Rebecca? That kind of stuff.
And once I figure out my job, I have to get into the swing of, ass early.
Yeah. So would Saturday nights work better for you guys? Because I don't gig every Saturday night. I know that Saturday nights are fairly
well,
rare.
Since I don't have a life anymore, I mean,
Saturday nights would be great for me.
You don't need a life. You've got D&D.
I know it. My streamers are gonna be pissed.
You can share this with your streamers. Be like, hey, check
this is
out.
True. Some of them have asked.
You might pick up a few
Saturday
followers.
nights work really well for me.
Okay, so why don't we try for Saturday nights then, as long as it works. I mean, we'll have to double check with Ray.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and as long as we talk about I mean, I can't drive, so I'm always home unless somebody picks me up.
That's another good reason why we're doing the Zoom. I did something to my calendar and I don't know how to undo it. Made it also. Oh, there. Okay, just drag. I can't handle this. I'm like, I've got a slider over here. I've got 2 cameras, a laptop in front of me. I'm streaming. I'm recording it, and I'm going to edit and everything later. And I'm like, I can't make my phone work. I can't make the calendar on my phone work, but I can do the rest of this.
I can't help you, David. I'm so anti-technology. I'm freaking out that I got 2 screens at the same time.
Yeah, you got that nice.
Do I look
screen.
over there? Do I look over there? Do I look over there?
Well, it's you guys. You keep talking, and I keep looking down. But my camera is over here, so I should be addressing it. And I've been trying to remember, look at the camera and talk to them there. But I'm like, I want to see what they're doing too. So it's going to be a learning curve for me as well. It's like I'm talking to the audience at home. So yes, Saturday.
Totally screwed if there's multiple bad guys at one time.
Okay.
But can we make the next session next Saturday?
No, I've got a gig on Saturday the 12th, and then
we do next Sunday.
A Sunday is available for me that we could do the 13th. That's possible.
Yeah, that works.
If we want to keep
could
it
do
to
that.
Saturdays, I could do the 26th. But if we're gonna do Sundays, the rest of my Sundays are wide open. But if we want to do it on a Saturday, I've got the 26th this month.
I'm good for the 13th since Valentine's Day is dead to me, so we might as well.
You and me both, kid. You and me both.
Okay.
Also, keep in mind, Rebecca, I've got to do your campaign separately. I've got to start your first couple of sessions is going to be just you and me.
Right.
And we're going to do it on Zoom so they can be recorded and everything. And also get you used to doing the Zoom thing as well.
Yeah.
So you and I we need to schedule something separate from everyone else.
Right.
So Saturday, you said, Peter, works better for you?
I can do Saturdays. I can do Sundays.
Okay.
All good. I can make it work.
All right. I guess it's really up to what Ray says. Why don't Rebecca, you and I, why don't we claim the 13th for your start of your session? What time works for you? It's you say you want to be done by around 11, so
we don't even have to do in the evening. We can do, if it's just you and I, we can do Sunday whenever.
It can be during the day or whatever. So
well, we text in the morning. We can just text in the morning.
We'll you and I we'll schedule that later, but we'll place the 13th for this. And if we do that during the day, that means the 13th is available for Peter and Ray.
Correct.
So let's
do that. You want to do morning?
Yeah, we can. Well, I don't know if I'm going to morning, but we could maybe lunch. We could D&D and brunch, D&D and lunch, something like that.
Okay. I'll temporarily put it for 11.
The video I sent you this morning, I looked at it later on, like this eye was still stuck together from like eye sleepy goo, and I'm like, it looked like Sloth from Goonies.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah.
Baby.
But so
totally know that
reference, by the way. I would hope so. So I mean, like, so we'll sit on, we'll figure, we'll try for the 13th lunchtime ish for you and I, Rebecca.
Okay.
And Pete, barring, Ray and what his schedule is, let's try for, do you want to try for the 13th?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll try for the 13th then. See
what
if we
time?
can do 13th evening. Why don't we say, because like I said, I need to end by about midnight because my kids have school the next morning and I'm the one who has to get their ass out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to stay, we could say, let's say 7 p.m. my time to be safe.
Okay, that's 4 p.m. my time.
Yeah, if that works for you, and hopefully it'll work for Ray as well.
Yep, I can make that work.
Okay. So we'll say
that'll just be
gonna be a busy day, a Sunday for me, man. I've been sitting here a lot to get a cushion for this chair.
You're gonna be a
pro. Yeah, you're gonna be a pro.
That's the idea.
Electronic stuff.
You're gonna need a donut and
this is the easy part. This is the easy part. It's me, like I'm terrified because like I've got the books and everything, and I've played D&D, but just like, and I've GM'd Dragon Eggs, but you only use 2 dice for that, and it's all set rules. There's no like leveling up or anything. It's designed to be easy for kids to join in, or easy to do like quick, set up one-shot type things for like, you get a bunch of people together, like, let's play a role-playing game. Yeah, we'll roll a character for an hour. Oh, here we go. We'll play Dragon Eggs. Here's a couple of sheets. You just put your name on it, fill in a basic information, and we go with our D20s and our D6s. So that's how it works. And I'm used to doing that kind of thing. It's a lot freer in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, we're very forgiving.
I'm absolutely, and I know you guys are going to be cool about it and everything, and it's going to be a growth and a learning process for me. But
I'm not going to be cool about it.
I'm totally good. The least experienced player here. I'm going to be all in your butt about, you missed that rule is different.
Because I like to find rule books and go, it doesn't say this.
You should totally get yourself a player's handbook.
Oh yeah. Rebecca, do you have some of the source material?
No, I don't have any.
Her son used to, but I guess he got rid of it.
Mhm.
Suggested retail price US $49.95 US.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Not.
They are
Yeah,
not
they're
cheap. However, they often go on sale on Amazon. I only paid $35 for mine. And I've got my brand new Dungeon
DM's
Master's Guide
Yeah.
that I also
Ooh,
got on
that's
sale.
fancy.
Yes, it is. And it's got the maps for the upcoming session for you, Peter, in it, separated.
Sweet.
You can't look.
Sweet.
And that's all set because I've got your.
Oh, so I don't even get to know what their adventure is while they're.
Well, I mean, you'll be able to
adventuring.
watch the video.
Can you let me know when you've posted you and Rebecca's?
No,
I guess
no, no.
Well, the way I'm planning on doing it is I'm going to film it, obviously, and then I'm going to do what editing I need to do. And when I've got that editing done, I'll try to get it posted up on YouTube. And then I'm just going to put the link in our Facebook chat.
Yeah, cool.
So you guys can watch it at your leisure.
Cool. Love it.
Oh, that's so much better than searching for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna put as much I can in that. Also, Whispers. I went over this a little bit with Rebecca when we were doing our test Zoom, getting all of her equipment set up. Whispers. I'm going to be doing Whispers via text message, obviously, because I can't walk to Canada and whisper in your ear.
Okay.
So
Right.
Oh, come on, there should be an easy button for that.
I won't be doing Whispers on the group chat. Obviously, I'll be doing that in our personal Facebook Messenger chats. So if there's information that's pertinent to your character and not the others, I will do it that way.
Okay.
Otherwise, updates and things and general information and stuff like that, any maps that might pop up, things like that, I'll send through our Facebook chat. So you guys can all have a copy in front of you, just like I have been doing.
Yep. Cool. Love it.
Okay. Got it.
Hey,
I wish I could make sure that you guys are that chat is at the top somehow.
Well, hopefully I'll be, in it and sending you guys stuff a lot. So hopefully it'll be very interesting.
It'll filter up.
Yeah.
The top.
Also, don't forget with the Facebook Messenger chat, if you go into the little I button up in the corner, you can access the videos and photos really quickly without having to scroll down through.
What?
Oh yeah, it's on the phone app. I'm not sure if it's on the. I just think it's on the computer app too. I don't know how well you'll be able to see my glowing
View
screen.
media and files. Is that it?
I'm going to turn my brightness down so maybe you can see it pretty well.
I do. That is. Oh my God.
Whoa,
mind
that's
blown.
awesome.
You guys didn't know that?
Oh no, I didn't have no idea. I would scroll for hours. I could scroll.
No,
scroll,
you can
scroll,
get right
scroll.
to any video and photo, just that right there. Boom.
Is this the other guy?
God. That's Ray.
Yeah,
that's Ray. Okay.
Mind blown. Wow.
He looks kind of like me, older and slightly more Asian. Well, actually, a heck of a lot more Asian because I'm not Asian at all.
Wow, everything's right there. And these are your characters?
The cartoon. Yeah, those are the characters. Where did you get those images, by the way? Were they just like clip art type things that you could pull?
For Ringo?
For Ringo, yeah. And Troy, because it looks like they were both the same artist.
Oh, that's interesting. I went to Google search and I searched Sneaky Bard. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of images come up, and I just picked the one that I thought best represented Ringo.
Yeah,
he's a little more peacocky than I think he actually is in the game. But you take what you can.
Yeah, I mean, you do what you can. I mean, the minis. I don't even paint minis, so for right now, you guys are just gonna have like generic unpainted minis that are going to be you until I can get something a little bit.
And I got to up my weapon game. Hold on. I got some stuff. I've got a little hatchet.
There you go.
Nice.
And I do have my little.
Nice.
I got a couple things. I don't have a sword. I don't have a sword.
I got two. I can give you one.
Yeah, just cross 3 time zones and. What, 4,000 miles?
I can throw it. It'll make it.
Hey, if this works, Ray and I are going to come to see you guys. I need a vacation, and I think Massachusetts is as good a place as any.
Woo!
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
not in the winter. Not in the winter.
Not in the winter.
In the summer.
Not
in the winter. Come in the summer. It's humid.
There you go.
Come on, David. I got waterfalls and ledges and.
Yeah, I got a waterfall
right outside my
door. I got the Bridge of Flowers here.
I know it. See, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Come
and did a
on,
grand
David.
tour of Massachusetts, small town Massachusetts.
Yeah, small
People
town
travel to come buy leaves. I remember going to Las Vegas and they were selling fall leaves for like crazy price. And I went, for real?
Yeah, I
I
gotta
would have
drive
brought it. I would have put
45
it in my
minutes to buy a loaf
luggage.
of bread.
Pine cones. I'm gonna bring pine cones and sell it somewhere in Vegas. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. There's a New England section. It's weird. It was
Oh
weird.
well, I believe it. I mean, here we call it we have tourist season. We have two of them. In the summer, we have our summer tourist season, and they're the people who come with the cameras and go walk on the bridges. And that's also biker season. That's when all the bikers come through.
Yeah,
Bikers.
Okay.
And then,
No, I believe it. Yeah.
and then we have leaf peeper season.
Leaf peepers.
And it's all the
Those
people who
bastards.
come from places who don't have fall,
Leaves.
who don't have, that autumnal change in their
God,
lives. They
it's
come
a yellow-
to
It's a
see the
yellow
colors.
leaf. It's
They
a
come
yellow
to
leaf
see the
paper.
color changes, and they do, and they get their telephoto lenses, and they
do.
start taking pictures of the colors and the trees and of our tiny little mountains and everything. And they just completely infest the place. It's insane.
But
Wow.
let's not forget, if the leaves aren't enough, they must get that bale of hay.
How do they get that home with them on the plane?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, we have two very distinct tourist seasons here.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
I'm coming in summer because I know what leaves look like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Well,
you do.
I'm glad that
Oh, and there I go again. I wonder
Every
why it
half
keeps doing
hour. That was every
Yeah.
half hour. Yeah.
Yeah,
It just times out.
why does it keep doing that?
it's to protect itself because it's an expensive DSLR camera. That's my 4K camera. So I have to figure
Probably
something else out.
doesn't want
I
to
think
overheat. or-
I'm probably going to have to eventually invest in a here. You can look at the game board for a minute. But I'm going to have to invest in a camera, a web streaming camera. I think.
That's pretty cool. I dig it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can see.
I would really like, I'm trying to think of a costume, and I was supposed to have my character designed already, but I put the word out to one other person who might be able to draw her for me, so we'll see.
Okay. Can we talk about cosplay? Like I'm not dressing up. I'm not going to do it.
You don't
have
have
to.
to. We have enough acting ability to make it seem realistic.
I hope I have enough acting ability. I've never done that before. You're going to have to
Or-
carry the team a little bit, Rebecca.
It just
That's
takes
all right.
time. It's in the more. I mean, I remember Pete when,
And once
when
you get
we
into some
started
character,
playing,
you just can't help yourself.
and we were starting to play the game, and I came in, and I'm doing my voice, and I'm
Yeah, the
like
voice,
this, and you guys would just battle, and you would barely have conversation. And then I remember I forget which game it was, but you started like getting up and acting stuff out behind your chair, and I'm like, yes, I've infected him. It comes with time, and the more ridiculous Rebecca and I are, the more ridiculous you guys will be, and you won't be able to help yourselves, and that's the whole point.
I'm in for it. I think I need an accent. It's gonna help me.
I play with accents and things, but I really think that the personality ends up making the accent all by itself.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have a
Right.
horrible accent, but if you've got a good personality and you're on point with the way you're telling the story of your character, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Otherwise, we're all British and Australian.
British and Australian.
I've
They're
got
the
a few
easiest
other
ones to
accents
do.
than just that. We're going to be doing that, but also you can have one accent and use different tonal qualities for your. I mean, we're getting into voice
The
acting 101
BBC
here, but,
version.
I mean, one of my favorite characters, Crump, is I don't know if you've seen the show, but he's a character that my puppet character imagines himself as when he's playing a role-playing game, and he's a Goliath, and he sounds like this. This is him. Hello, me, Crump. I'm Crump the Goliath. But you can use that same kind of speech pattern and just change the tone of the voice. And here we go like this. And it's a completely different voice now. Or you can even bring it up here if you want to. And it's just changing the pitch of your voice. But it's the same thing. And right back right down here. and this is what it is. And so you can do that with any accent, any speech pattern. You just change your pitch. You move it
I got
around.
some work to do. Yeah, I got some work to do.
So don't stress out too much about it. Just, you can just use your regular speaking voice and just make it a little bit higher. And that's all you can do. And that's how, this is how I do a lot of women characters. It's my own speaking voice, but make it a little bit softer and a little bit higher. And that's because that's all you really need to do. You just have to give the idea of it and let the imagination.
Are you saying that we're all high-pitched females?
No, but you're hey baby, how you doing?
That's
My name's
low.
Janet. It doesn't work, It doesn't work. You gotta do the right thing.
In today's world, it does.
So it's less about doing a good job.
I think Janet's got some fluid sexuality. That's okay. Oh, I'm in for that too. I'm good. I'm down.
So it's just you find what works for you. While speaking of voice acting and the crazy things like that in D&D, have either of you guys started watching The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon?
What?
Oh, no, but I'm aware of it. I know which one. It's the
What is
cartoon,
it?
right?
Yeah, it's the cartoon based off of it's The Legend of Vox Machina. It's a series, it's a cartoon series, it's an adult cartoon series, and it's not for kids. Make sure
That's what I heard.
no children are anywhere near when I've just don't.
Okay, now I really want to watch it.
I would say even your son, Rebecca, would probably turn all sorts of plaid and purple watching some of that show.
You forget my kid's in college now.
Yeah, it's true. It works out.
It's weird.
But
Wow.
yeah, it's intense.
You do not look old enough to have a kid in college.
I'm 43 years old.
Okay.
But I tell her all the time. She doesn't believe me. No, it's this show was created. Remember the show I showed you, Critical Role, those voice actors?
Yes.
The first campaign they did was based around a group of characters referred to as Vox Machina.
Okay.
They actually did a crowdfunding campaign to try and raise money to make 1 or 2 animated episodes for the fans, for fun. They ended up their fan base, which they refer to as the Critters, ended up raising enough money for them to not only make those episodes, but make 2 full seasons, and it was picked up by Amazon Prime.
Ooh.
It is considered, I think, the biggest Kickstarter that ever happened. They ended up, I forget, it was like millions and millions of dollars that they raised for this, and they did a lot of things.
Like they did $10 million.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a lot of nerds out there.
Yeah,
there are a lot of nerds out there. The nerds need something. It's about time.
And so they ended up doing it, but then they started production, and then COVID hit. So production ended up slowing down. They ended up starting to move into their own personal studios to do their voice acting, and animation took. So basically, it was supposed to be done in
live
February. No, it was supposed to be the whole thing was supposed to be completed, scheduled the first season and on Amazon by February of 2021. But because of COVID and everything, it all got pushed back, and it only just came out. Like episode 6 was just released. They're doing them 3 at a time every Friday. It's on Amazon Prime. If you've got Amazon Prime, you should watch it. If you should get it. If not, steal it from somebody or do a free trial or whatever.
Yeah, it's free trial. That sounds good.
It's amazing because, first of all, these are characters that they played and created from the ground up, and they basically lived in for 3 years online and almost 2 years before it was ever even a show. So like they know these characters inside and out. They're also all professional voice actors and screen actors. Yeah. So like they are like, this is what they do for a living for cartoons, video games, voiceover work, all sorts of stuff. That's what they do for a living. Right. Did for a living until the world took over. Yeah. So it's their baby, and it's taking essentially 5 years of gameplay and squishing it into a concise season. But because they're in charge of it, they're the executive producers, they're the writers, they're everything, working with teams of professionals, a group called Titmouse, which does a lot of anime style and professional animation movies and shows. And it's so much better than I could ever have hoped. But
Oh.
to have all of those little tidbits in there, like, you know, Peter, you know, you're trying to pick a lock and you just can't roll for crap. They don't say, you know, like, oh, you rolled a natural one and your lock picks break. But those of us who play D&D went, that
Natural
was a one right there.
Nice.
And there's just a lot of those things, and like how like the clerics buff the fighters, and adding magic like to a weapon or adding magic to an attack or what have you to help out. All of this stuff that you don't normally see in the fantasy genre that's in D&D is shown
That sounds awesome.
there, and it's like they're inside your head, and the animation is breathtaking. Breathtaking. The voice talent they have, not just themselves, but other actors and voice actors they brought in. We're talking, you know, award-winning actors and
all right, so
actors on like
The
Walking Dead.
Parents'
It's insane. It's
nice.
insane.
Okay, yeah, I gotta check it out.
Good.
I'm gonna check it out right after this is over. I'm gonna go binge it.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
worth it. And they're only 22 minutes, 24-minute long episodes, so it's really easy to binge too.
Nice.
But yeah, seriously, anyone with, you know, anyone with a low constitution probably shouldn't. just you'll see what I mean when you watch it.
Okay.
It's one of those things. It's like, and it's in a cartoon too, and the animation style is done. It was you've seen, like, if you've ever watched any of the newer like WB cartoons, like a lot of the DC cartoons and stuff, the lead artist for those, who created a lot of the look of those characters, that really beautiful modern animation, was the lead designer for this. And so Titmouse used that animation. So it's gorgeous, but it also looks a lot like something you'd see Superman in,
Right.
or the Green Lantern. And then, you know, there's swearing and titties.
You're like, wait a second.
So it's like, oh, okay. It catches you off, and there's this like getting used to it thing, but it's so good. And I mean, I saw that entire campaign. I watched that entire campaign stem to stern. So it has that like extra, like, for me,
appeal
but
for you.
it's really good. Just even from a perspective of something you've never seen before, it's huge right now. It's exploding everywhere, and people are finding out about.
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
I've heard it's really good from all the YouTubers like Dungeon Craft and the Dungeon Dudes and stuff. So yeah, I gotta check it out.
But yeah, if Rebecca, watching it will give you a very good idea of how the gameplay kind of rolls.
Okay.
In a game, even though it's done real time, it's how it plays out. It's kind of weird because D&D gameplay, it's done in 6-second segments. Everyone's turn represents 6 seconds in real life. I've sitting there deciding what
times a long time ago.
Yeah. So everything that happens within your turn is only a 6-second portion of time.
Okay.
So if it were to play out in real time, it would be very fast paced. It would be very, intense. So the show shows you that, and it shows you, because it's really good about getting all the details of like, oh, what is this person doing? What is this person doing? So if you're an experienced player, you can really get it, but it'll help you kind of visualize gameplay later on if you see something like that.
Oh, damn. I want to check it out. It's so bad.
Yeah. Okay. We'll wrap up quick. I want to go watch it again.
All right, stop talking.
Yeah. So definitely check it out. And Pete, you're just gonna go gaga over it, because you'll be able to see, like, oh yeah, I know what that spell is. I know what that rule is. I know what's going on there.
That was Bardic Inspiration. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. It did that kind of stuff. And you can see them preparing to level up too.
No, yeah.
Like you can tell that these are all like, level 2, level 3 characters to start at the beginning of it. It's really good. You'll see.
It's awesome because nobody has ever really managed to do a show that captures Dungeons and Dragons. Every Dungeons and Dragons show that's ever been done has been terrible.
Yeah,
so
and it's all.
Has there actually been some shows?
Yeah,
there was a Dungeons,
you don't know
Dungeons
because they're terrible.
Cartoon show. Yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah.
They're absolutely horrible.
Yeah,
and it's
Most people go to Lord of the Rings or The Witcher or Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and those are
fantasy.
great.
Those are really good, but they're not really like
They're not D&D.
you know, capture the game. Yeah.
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 This
No, they're not.
It's genius. It's absolutely genius. And I'm so glad it exists.
I'm sold. I'm gonna check it out.
All right, my friends. I think
All right.
we'll wrap it up.
Awesome session 0. Too
Yeah,
bad Ray
yeah.
couldn't join us, but as you know, it's okay because I
You
know
know, you
Ray.
gotta-
I don't know.
you gotta
I
make
don't know
the monies.
Rebecca.
You got to make the
So-
monies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my friends.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right.
And
Okay.
I will see you all. I mean, I'll see you beforehand, Rebecca, but I'll see you all
Yes.
on 13th at some point or other, hopefully, barring scheduling issues with Mr. Van Gobel.
Cool.
Yes.
Rebecca, have a good day at work tomorrow.
Yes.
Your first day, right? First day at work.
First day at work.
Okay. Good luck.
Gonna make it. Thank you so much. And nice meeting you.
Yeah, you as well. See
Absolutely.
you. So we won't see each other next week, right?
Right.
Because we're doing
Right.
separate campaigns. So we'll see each other the following session.
Yeah. And you'll
Yeah.
probably see Rebecca's session beforehand, depending on how long it takes me to edit it.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm gonna check it out.
But again, I'm
Okay.
going to keep the editing really light. Just get rid of the camera stuff and
Yeah.
children interruptions and stuff like that.
Cool.
It happens.
Yeah, it
Parents.
does. All right, friends. I
All
will
right.
See you all soon.
All right.
Bye bye, everybody.